in there that Minnie and I do that's also a BDSM number that we filked, which means we changed the lyrics and used a tune.
Wait, what's this word we need to learn now?
Filked.
Because I'm still trying to use frack wherever I can. So
from Battlestar?
Now we filk stuff?
Filk. Filking stuff is taking the... It's a parody. It's another word for parody. It's the old-fashioned...
You keep the music and you change the lyrics.
Keep the music, change lyrics.
Okay.
So...
I've got to mention something else.
Absolutely.
No, that's a different word. We're not going to talk about that.
Carlos wants to say filch. Filch.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Santero, I'm sorry.
This is pretty sexy stuff.
This is pretty sexy. In fact, the
rhinestones and feathers, I'm sorry.
Oh my. Sparkle. Glitter, baby, glitter.
Okay.
So much glitter.
The song that we're actually doing is... Oh, go ahead.
Okay. It's to the tune of Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast. Disney's Beauty and the Beast. But ours is called Get Undressed.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and it's a really interesting love story about an airheaded maid and her...
I think that was me.
The airheaded maid and her demanding mistress of
Just
the house.
because I have a French accent doesn't make me airheaded.
No, but you just keep cleaning every time I tell you to get undressed.
There's a question.
Uncle, I know you don't have music for another number, but Uncle Victor wanted to know if Scarlett was going to sing, and you just talked about this parody you're going to do. Could you give us a couple lines? Just a couple lines?
No.
Just like 3
Isn't it the
lines.
Halloween show?
It is for the Halloween show. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Uncle Victor. No.
But I can sing something else a cappella.
Oh, she's great. She's great.
I love that.
Give me. Okay, yeah, thank you. I was like, give me a key. All right. You had plenty money, 1922. You let other women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out of here, get me some money too.
That's what I say to my men all the time.
Yeah, me, you, and Jessica Rabbit.
Get some money.
So,
Make it rain over there.
yeah. I don't know, I want a kind of a typhoon of money, that'd be great.
I'd be happy with a steady drizzle, to be honest.
But yes, we have vocalists that are just as talented as Minnie. There's at least 4 singers. We have a mime.
A mime?
Whoa. I'm sorry. I gotta stop this right now. You have to tell us this mime is awesome when we want to see a mime.
She's sexy, too.
Okay, it's not the guy in the...
She's the cutest face.
No. She's a mime burlesquer.
There we go.
Wow.
Okay.
But she's not limited to mime alone.
No, she does other things. She does a really fantastic lion tamer routine.
Okay.
But she's a mime burlesquer for the most part. That's her shtick. That's her gimmick. Everybody's got a gimmick. Everybody's got their thing that they do. You know, for instance, my claim to fame is chair dancing, so that's my big deal. Minnie is the vocal performances. Sunny, who's the one I'm talking about, is the mime burlesquer. Ginger, what's Ginger's? Oh, that's right. Ginger uses a bullwhip for her performances, and she is 6'1" with red hair down to her ass. So trust me, it's worth watching.
She looks a lot like Jessica Rabbit.
Actually, she does.
Her body. She's
got the really beautiful bust line, and then the nice tiny waist, and then she's got legs for days. Like if you were on the floor looking up at her head would be like her heel or something. Her head would be like the 150th story of a building.
And she sings well too.
Yeah, and she's a fantastic vocalist. I'm trying to think. I have
Moloko, and then there's Sakura.
Sakura's our belly dance burlesquer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and we actually have a guest performance by a group called Avatea in our Halloween macabre show that does steampunk belly dance.
Oh wow!
Nice.
So. And then Blondie, who's probably watching. Fan dances like a mofo.
Blondie, and you know what? We have 2 fan dancers now.
Good.
And you know it's kind of funny because I really want to organize something because Blondie she's beautiful. She's 5'9". She has long blonde hair. She's very voluptuous, and she's got a really beautiful body, and she's super, super fluid with her fans. And she uses white fans. And since she took time off, we auditioned new people. And I have a new dancer, and her name is Onyx.
Oh.
And she's 5'2" and African American, and she uses black fans.
It's like a yin
Oh,
yang.
you can do
Yeah.
that.
And
With the
I just think it would be so amazing to have, you know, a big, tall, blonde, white fan dancer, and then the short, you know, beautiful, voluptuous, black fan dancer.
We're with you. Yeah. You know,
Oh my gosh, it would just, it would blow my mind. I think it would be amazing if they came
We
up with
definitely are.
something.
We're like a rainbow all around with different.
I'm planting seeds of inspiration, Blondie.
Come back.
Come back, we miss you.
Well, who do you, I know you must look into the past for inspiration
Absolutely.
and research. Like, who are some of both of you, your favorite historical performers? Like,
Gypsy Rose.
I know, it's like, I was going to say that.
I would say Dita Von Teese was my first reason for wanting to come into burlesque. But since then, I would say that there's actually quite a few modern burlesquers that I think that are just amazing to watch. Dizzy Von Dam is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
She's local to Orange County and amazing. I saw her at the Monday Night Teas, and she did a geek performance, like where she was a nerd and she stripped it into like old-fashioned underwear, like a girdle and
that's
stuff.
great.
Like not sexy. It was a geek routine. It was great, but it made me feel sexy for her, even though it was ridiculously geeky. I just thought it was an inspiration to watch her because she made something that was potentially not sexy completely sexy.
Yeah.
And I have mad respect for people that can really sway an audience's emotions one way or the other. And in the same routine, if they can hit both ends of the spectrum, that's even more brilliant. The other one that I really look up to is Lily Von Stupp, who owns the Monday Night Teas and puts on the Monday Night Teas. I've seen her perform a couple times, and that woman has some skills for days. I mean, she's been doing it forever, and it's apparent by watching her because she's on stage and she's just involved with the audience. She knows how to involve her audience and make you feel a part of what she's doing. So there's a lot of really fantastic people that are around right now that I can take inspiration from. As far as the historical aspects are concerned, most of my idols are not in the burlesque scene at all. My favorites were Doris Day. I like
Julie
Garland.
Andrews.
I like Judy Garland, Julie Andrews.
Yeah, we're very similar. We have a lot of similar days.
Yeah, I'm trying to Rosalind Russell. I like her. Just people that just walk on a stage and command your attention. Yeah. And there's even some just regular vocalists that, as far as performance aspects are concerned, they're brilliant. Christina Aguilera. We actually take a lot of our choreography from Christina Aguilera. We have
Inspired by.
It's not the same.
by.
It's not the same, but we do pull a lot of interesting butt movements because that girl moves her butt like crazy. Seriously. And we have some old school burlesque stuff, and we have neo burlesque in our show. So it's a nice mix of everything. If you want to see the traditional, you want to see the updated, you want to see the Pussycat Doll style, we have some of that going on too. So we have some hip hop in there. And
You have to.
yeah, you know,
Because it's what they did 100 years ago, you know.
well, not hip hop, but yes.
That's true. There was no people of color in the same theater.
Well, crumping.
No crumping, but we do have
Actually,
a little crumping. Yeah.
Can you guys twerk?
Which one is that? Is that where you pull the knees in and you're like pulling up like
It's
that?
the butt.
We have
It's
that.
the stripper butt.
Oh, it's the shaking?
jiggle?
The shake?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a couple people in our group who can do that really
The belly
well.
dancers are
I don't
really
get
good
it.
at that.
I don't.
You know,
I
it's-
don't learn how to do it.
They're teaching me how to do it, but from what I understand, all the
about
movement
below
happens down in your heels and your ankles down below, and it travels up your body like a snake, and then turns you into a 50-cent bed jiggler.
And they make it rain when you do that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's why I think that voluptuous women are supposed to be a dance. There's that's where they're supposed to be because they have everything that jiggles. And it's all about the jiggle, the shimmy. What would the shimmy be with no boobs?
Right.
And then you're just moving your shoulders at that point.
Yeah, you really. Honestly, you don't even have to move very much. They take over.
Whoa, tsunami!
Now, can any of you twirl?
Oh, tassel twirling.
I'm not
can?
going to.
I know.
Not alternating, but I can go the same direction.
If you wanted to,
she's working
you could
on
on this show.
She's working on it.
Okay.
You can do twirls.
Yeah.
I can only go the same direction.
That's still phenomenal.
You know, it
And
took
it
a lot
takes
of
me a couple
practice.
practice times. I don't do it in each other. I put the prep and be like, okay,
You gotta wind up to it.
Yeah.
We're working on getting her better facial expression while she can doesn't mean it's not going to happen. There's opportunity by leaps and bounds. I have such talented women, and they can do anything that they set their mind to. Anything. I've seen people go from not having an ounce of dance experience to getting on stage and looking like they have been dancing all their lives.
Well, do you guys get together and choreograph together? And
Sometimes. It depends on what it is. Sometimes I'll bring in an outside volunteer choreographer who's like, I love what you guys do, I have to choreograph something for you.
Oh, you hear that, choreographers? VoluptuousEntertainment.com.
And what will usually happen is, because most choreographers are used to working with professionals, their teaching style is a little too fast for our performers.
Not only that,
they also don't consider the weight being an issue. So what happens is I usually get a choreographer, I look at the routine, take a look at it, make sure that the moves are possible for the different learning styles and the different levels of dance experience and ability that we have within the troupe, and then we modify from there. They teach me the routine, and then together we teach the routine to the troupe.
Wow.
And as we teach it to the troupe, we find out where the spots are that people are like, oh no, I gotta get on my knees and then get up in 2 counts, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You know, and then we kind of hammer it out like that.
Then there's solo pieces or duets that those people who are in those numbers, they'll put the number together themselves.
Yeah, a lot of the girls choreograph their own stuff for the most part. Or if they aren't experienced with choreography, sometimes they'll say, hey, I have an idea for this thing and I want it to look like this. And I'm like, okay, well, do you have like a style of movement that you like? Do you like the 50s? Do you like the 60s? Do you like, belly dance kind of stuff? Do you like hip hop? What do you like? And then we kind of work it out and try to incorporate all the different kinds of dance into a number that we can to make it look sexy, appealing, alluring, and entertaining.
And the girls work so hard. Tell them how often we rehearse.
We rehearse twice a week for 5 hours a day.
And that was cut down. It used to be 3 times a week for 6 hours a day.
Yeah, it was cut down. And now in crunch time, the month of the show, we rehearse 3 times a week.
do you have to? I mean, is it nighttime when people get off of work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to work around everybody's schedule. So most of the time, we meet weeknights to work, and it's usually a 5 to 10 deal. But some of the people that get off at 5 don't get there till 6.
So it's so important that we're precise in our movements. Because
when you're
dancing
as a troupe, it is a lot harder to maintain similarity from dancer to dancer, particularly if you have a dancer that's mini size next to a dancer who's a size 26. Mm-hmm. The same movement is not going to look the same on 2 different bodies that are at that end, far end of the spectrum. So you could be doing a body roll like this. I'm not moving a whole lot, but it looks like I'm moving a lot. But then you get that movement on someone who's larger. They have to really jet their hip out and really move their breasts, one side to the other to make it look like it's a big movement, because there's more body to shift. Also, when I teach really fluid movements, things where you're moving and you have to have a certain, angle of your wrist or whatever, sometimes for the performers that are on the smaller end, things look very jagged with them because they're so used to being able to do it quickly. They're used to moving very fast, so sometimes they have a hard time with the slower movements. So, there's trials and tribulations on both ends of the spectrum. Anything from the size 10 performer to the 26 performer has a problem with something at some point that we have to work around and kind of meet in the middle.
And you also have such a large height difference.
Yeah,
and you're talking about how you have women that could be a foot apart from one another.
Absolutely. My tallest girl is 6'1".
Yeah,
and she wears heels.
Oh yeah.
And she wears heels.
So even that,
number, it's like looking up a building.
Nice.
and even that's gonna, make a huge difference in how.
Sure,
especially if you're trying to do a group number.
If you're doing cannons where you have to do this with your arms, someone who's 6'1" is like this much higher than anyone else. Yeah. So her movement can't be big. It has to be small. Her fan has to be small to keep the level down, and her fan has to be like jumping to get up
I'm
to
good
the
at jumping, you guys. I just got these shoes to do that for me.
I'm used to the shows that came up in Hollywood years ago where it would be, it's burlesque night, and it was individual girls who jump up on stage. It was almost the open mic for burlesque. They jump up on stage, they hand their music over. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like
with a troupe. It's different, and that's what I like about it, because I like working together to create something that is more interesting than you can do on your own. It takes I said this the last time I was here, and I'll repeat it again because it is true every time I say it. It takes a very special person to be able to get up on a stage by themselves and seduce an audience. It takes a personality and an attitude that not everybody has. I can say that there are people in the troupe now that don't have it. And it's something to achieve. You know, you can work on how you move and how you look. Eye contact is huge. You know, if you're not making eye contact with your audience, they don't feel involved. And solos are hard. It is hard to get up by yourself and have no one to rely on if you mess up. And regardless that the audience is not going to know if you messed up because you're by yourself and you don't have to depend on anybody, you know, and that freaks you out. So it's very hard to get up and do a solo. So the group numbers actually make things a little easier because you have someone to kind of glance at if you feel like you're lost. But hopefully that doesn't happen a whole lot with us. I mean, our girls are pretty in sync this season.
We practice all the time.
I think this season I have the most cohesive group I've ever had since I started. These girls just seem to really be in sync with each other in their heads and in their movements and in
attitudes.
And the attitudes and the way that they move. There's, they just are very positive and they're really hard workers. So they try really, really hard to make it perfect, and they get damn close.
It's really important to be perfect in what we're doing too as a troupe, because we're giving the what am I trying to say with showing the public that no matter what your size is, that you can be beautiful, sexy, seductive, and I hate to say it, but when we mess up because of our niche, we're made fun of more. I mean, we have to be on it, and that's why we really hammer everything out and strive for perfection.
It's important to impress the audience members that are there to find flaws.
Right.
Because no matter what you do or where you perform, there will always be that member in the audience that is looking and waiting for you to trip on your shoe.
And we take turns during rehearsal doing the number. Each person takes a turn watching the number and looking for something. Yeah. To fine tune.
We rotate and then take a look at it.
We all see that. I mean, we need.
It's like, oh no, your hand was 3 inches lower.
And we'll say things like that. That's specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has to be like that because of the niche that we are and because we are not publicly accepted as much as we'd like to be.
Especially in the media.
Particularly in the media, we have to be really, really careful about how we present ourselves so that it is in a classy and beautiful way. Class, I think,
and empowering.
And empowering.
I think that's most important.
We really want to be up there and be empowering and classy. I think those are like the code words for what we try to achieve for the most part, because class is something that is lacking in so many arenas in performance worlds, and empowerment is hard to come from people that are not accepted. So empowering those people who come to the show that want to support you, that want to be involved, but they can be involved on an audience level rather than a performance level. I want to empower them to feel that maybe they could get on stage at some point and strut their stuff and try.
Or feel confident going out and
just
being themselves.
Just wearing a dress that they wouldn't normally wear because they think they would be scrutinized because, oh, this shows my arm.
Right.
Or, oh, this shows the baby fat on the side of my arm and I'm going to have to wear my hair like this. So that I have to cover it up. I have to work through those feelings. So we want to get up on stage and let it all jiggle around and let them know that
in a classy and beautiful way.
In a classy, beautiful way, empowering, classy, beautiful way. That it's okay to be who you are because who you are is beautiful.